Kimberlech, which are mechunach with Torah, and it's Mitzad Echad was forget for, and that's a song. Mitzad Shady, you want from uns, and the Shady we have to make, and if we can't do it as a klal, so we as individuals have to make the kun, we have to make it. We have to, the tzar has the mashpil on us a certain tikkunim and certain sense of das that we have to have in order to. That's it. That's all I can say right now. Nothing. Parshas, lech, lchah. Okay. Straight up over here. Sorry, after Zogin, after Heaven. I know, just that doesn't have to be for me, but that's not like it. Okay, fine. We have this Indian from lech, lchah. We have this Indian from Avram Avinu. So before that, let's just the Rambam goes through. Go quick. B'mei enosh tov b'nei adam tovs gedolah. That the erste Sache, the erste kedisha from the erste ma'ara from Avodah Zarah. From Avodah Zarah is given by b'mei enosh. There's given a machlokas rishonim, a machlokas mefarshim, whether enosh alone is given an Avodah Zarah or not. But for sure the bimei enosh, the door enosh. It's a shaila in the Gemara. It says machlin la Shama Shabbos gehochas says machlin la afilu kedor enosh. It's a kedor enosh or a enosh. I feel of the Avodah Zarah ka enosh or I feel of the Avodah Zarah kedor enosh. It's a shaila in the Gears in the Gemara. So anyway, the Nevarah atzas chachmei osa ador ve'enosh atzma min ha'toim. So Rambam says that enosh is given from the time. V'zu haisa ta'usam. And the time, so we know what the ta'usam is. They figured that about that the Kosh Baruch Hu was masada the Welt, and there are hashpos that come through the kachovim and through the different the planets and things like that. So Mamei Levshah that these are our servants, these are avodim from the melech, and it's kedai that when you have a melech and you have avodim, so you mechabed the avodim, and that itself alone, this alone is a covered for the melech. So that was the first type of avodah zarah that existed in the world. Kivin sha'olah al davar zeh al livam hischila livnos l'kachavim heicholos. So then they started building buildings and palaces in order for this type of thing. Well, hakriv lehem korbanos, well, shabchan lefarim b'dvarim l'shtachavos lemulan kadei lohasig ratzon habare b'daitem hara. So, but they had it in mind that they wanted to be masig the das elyon. Now they thought they had made a big mistake. It was a tremendous mistake. They thought this is the mahalach to do that. Which you see that Chodesh also in a Torah. I mean, there's nothing to talk about. What happened? What happened to the before Torah Enosh? Why did they wake up and start doing these things? The pshat is, but they said that was the mistake. The mistake was that they thought I knew a nayir mahalach, and the pshat is, so what are you making nayir mahalachim from? Just keep to the same whatever it was. Why are you doing nothing? It's a new thing. And Zak the Rambam, this is the Ikra of Avodah Zarah. Now they're very good because the Rambam is telling you that there are shittas that are going to hold that this is a shittah. There's a whole shayla of what shittah is also by Ben Noach and not. And shayla is what shittas. I saw one niflidige shittah was that if you think there are two types of Elohas in the world. And they're equal, and they share this. That's called a shituf. Masha'enkin, if you have one that you hold that this is the whole one. There's one god that you feel is the mamish. That's the top of the line, and the other ones is a smaller one. It's a smaller type of thing. The pshas, that's called a shituf, and that should be mutter to a ben noach, whatever. So according to me, according to this, the Rambam is not like it's lafuki that this is not shituf. This is ikra avodah zarah. This is ikra avodah zarah. It's not the Dishkin shituf, whatever. Because this is exactly what they wanted to do. They recognized the Rebbeinu Shalom. They wanted to go. They wanted to forget. They wanted everything what they wanted to do for the Rebbeinu Shalom. The kachem amrim avadja of there how you do him ikra. Lo shehem omrim she'ein sham elokah. They didn't say that there's no elokah in the world. Elokah of zeh. They didn't say that. Hu sheyirbiyo amr milo yirecha melech hagoyim ki lecho yosa ki bechol chachmei hagoyim bechol malchusim me'ayin kemochem. Uba'achas yivaru v'yikaslu musa havolim etzu. Klamar hakol yodim she'atu hu akel levadecho. Abo to usim v'kislusim shemedamin zezeh hevo ritzonnechahu. They thought that this is what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants. So, again, this is quite obvious that the way to it's a good svara. You have a good svara, but you got to do what everybody else, what we did in the previous generations. You have to also, Chodesh also in the Torah over here. It's such a thing. But then there's a Hayomim. Okay, good. Amdu b'nei Adam nevi'ei sheker. So at that time there was no nevi'ei sheker. There's nobody that said they had a nevuah from any of these kakavim and things like that, mazolos and kakavim. But then came a time when nevi'ei sheker came. The amru shakel tzivu lehem. This is what happens. The amar lehem avdu karcha plani. So until and so now the Nevi'ei Sheker is coming and he's telling you that this is the karchav that you got to be of it to. Kol hachachavim, or even all the chachavim, v'hekrivu and v'naskul kach v'kach, u'banu lo heichol. So again, the Rambam before said they were banu lo heicholos to the chachavim, to the chachalim mazolos. The chiluk is over there they were banu lo heicholos to the mazolos, to the chachavim mazolos, so all of them. There was no one specific one that they made heicholos to. They made a heichol, and over there you did whatever you did for all of them. Comes along the Nevi'ei Sheker, and they narrowed it down. No, just this one type raisins.
Made raisins.
They what?
The raisins became campaigns.
The campaigns.
What was it for
raise money. To raise money for the heichel.
For the heichel, good, but there was heichels before also. Like when they made the mistakes, you see them. They made the mistakes and they made heichels before also. But there was a heichel for all the kachavim and all the masolos because they knew that there was a Rebbeinu Shalom and they just wanted to a way of actionizing, of putting it before mamish. Masha Enken over here, you have this Nevi'ei Sheker getting up, and they tell you, just this one. So this one, so you made a special heichel just for this fellow. You also tzuraso, and you make a tzura, kidei l'shtachavus lo kol ha'am, hanoshim v'ketanim v'shar am ha'aretz. U'modia lem tzura shebodam libo, and they tell her this is I don't know, how do they all look alike? I mean, all of a sudden now you're getting a karchav, how does it look like? So they made it the bottom libo. This is what it looks like. V'amar zu hi tzuras ha'karchav ha'plani she'odi'uhu b'nevuaso. V'schilo al derech zeh la'asas tzuras ve'cholos v'tachas ha'ilonos v'rashi harim. So now they flex the place with this here tzura of what they said the Nevi'ei Sheker. V'al givos u'miskapsi mishtachvi lehem v'arvin d'chol ha'am shezu ha'tzura metiva Maria. So this is not. This is you want something, you need something. Something's good, something's bad. This thing it can do good for you, and it could do bad for you. The roy lo avdav leira mimena. So mamela, you have to have a derech eretz for it. Kamri marmi lehem she'avoda zu tarbu v'hatzliach v'asu kach v'kach. And if you do this type of avoda to the avoda zaris, this type of avoda zaris, so you'll be masliach. V'al tasu kach v'kach, but don't do it this way. You got to do only the way we tell you. Business, gemak business. V'schilu kazovim, and the kazovim acherim lamod v'lamod shakarchav atzmo gilgul malach david diber imohem. And this is very good. They spoke to me privately. V'amar lehem avduni b'kach v'kach v'hodia lehem derech avodasav also kach. A very interesting thing, whatever. So this is given the matzah. So it started off with a door enish, and it went down until a time when the Pshai said, and that was everybody, all the kachavim, all the mazolos were equal, and just you wanted to get through to them in order to get to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and now you're going directly to mazolos and kachavim and specific ones. The came in Sha'archa Ayam in the Shtaka Hashem. HaNichbed v'Hanara Mikol Yakum Umidaitam Le'Velo Hikiruhu. Until the Iker was lost to them, and the Pshai said it only became the Gatshke, only became that. V'nimsu kol amo aretz v'andosh v'ktanim einom yodim ela at surah shel eitz. They only knew this surah v'heichel shel binyan, and the Vaita with the heichel again. So this is something where if you wait long enough, so then you forget the old and you bring in the new, and the new becomes like the normal now. Once you wait a few years, there's nothing. That's the way. This is Metzias, my friends. This is the way it happens. They said there's no Eloah except for this here Kechavim v'Gegolim. Shenasa Batzur, Hatzur is Elu v'Glolim v'Ledmusam. Avotzur ha'Lamim lo ha'Yasham Mekira. There was nobody to recognize the Rebbeinu Shalom anymore. V'lo Yadu el Yechidim ba'Olam. Kegan Chanach Mesushalach v'Noach v'Shem v'Ever. V'Alderech Zu ha'Ya Olam is Gagol v'Holech Ad Shenoled Amuda Shel Olam Shuhu Avram Avinu. Till we get to Avram Avinu, fine. What happens? Kivin shenigmol eisan zeh. Once he was 2 years old, he was already weaned. Over that, he was going into his 3rd year. So we know that the Gemara is going to have a machlokas whether he was hikir bara by 3 or hikir bara at 48. So the Pshas said this was the Rambam. I'm going to tell you is chapping both shitas. There's no steering. That he started at 3 years old. Kivin shenigmol eisan zeh hischel l'shotet bedaito. He said he was 3 years old. He was two and something in his 3rd year, and it bothered him. He started thinking. He was a thinking person at that young age. Who cotton lechah b'yam of So the Rambam's not wordy. It says yam of this is a person it was not a passing thought or a project. This was something that bothered him. It was unbelievable. The midas hamis from Avraham Avinu was a pshat that bothered him. Yom of This Metzias, what bothered him? So what bothered him? So I want to tell you that I have a problem, but and for many years that we know this the Medrash from lech, lchah. And it gives you a special mashal to a person that's going over from ear to ear, and he sees a bira, and he says that there must be a barei olam for there must have some kind of had to be a barei for this bira, and then it was nisraf, and the Rebbeinu Shalom comes and says ani bala bira. So he's always wondering, well, what does it mean? Why did he have to go from ear to ear? Why is it lech lchah? After lech lchah, he goes and we have this marshal that he's going from ear to ear, and he comes up with this ani balabira. It couldn't be inside the city, inside wherever he was, whatever place he was over there. Like let it be over there. He was inside the city. He saw a nice house, and obviously the house had to be built by somebody, and it had to. And if it burns down, so then you have a question. Where's the and the Kodesh Baruch Hu appear to him, sound Baal Bir, I have everything under control. Don't worry, everything is al pi cheshbon. What's up? This old dafke when he's going from ear to ear. The bother me. That's a point here. But right now we're inside. We're inside over here, inside the ear. And there's nobody who caused the movement, who caused everything to be. It cannot be a cause for itself. There has to be a siba And there has to be some kind of, somebody that's causing it to happen. Nobody told him this. This is something that he Pasha came when he was like 2 years old. This is by Baita with Rebbe Chanan. If you look at the Metzias of the world, so you're going to come to a realization that there's a Rebbeinu Shalom in the world. So we can't say even an Avram Avinu was Avram Avinu, but he was 2 years old. He was 2.5. Ella Mushka be'or kastim. He was mamish in or kastim. He didn't have a molam. He didn't go to cheder. And the pshas allein getracht. Bein odei avodah had tipshim, and he was among these tipshim. Why was it or tipshim? This is what we talked about before. Why tipshim? And you said there's no malaba there. There's nobody telling you anything different. The Kamrim, it's already been for years now that it came and they forgot about the Rebbeinu Shalom and stuff like that. So they're growing up like with this type of thing. Why is it tipshim? Why are they tipshim? What makes them tipshim? Teretz is because they're tipshim because you can see it if you want to. If you want to see it, you can see it. That's why you're a tippish. If you don't want to see it, so the Pshara said this is very important. This is a tremendous isod over here. They're tipshim. So even though Avram Avinu was part, it's emgebadet, is what's going on here. There has to be something that's really making everything happen. You can't have a geshke that created itself. It had to come from some other place. It has this. So it mamish bothered him, but he still was of the Avodah Zarah, because that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's doing it, but he had these tremendous fakers, Yomam V'Layl in his head, that there's something epis tuts of nishrichtig here, this is ever stinkt here. This is not right, but he still did it. It was not ad kach, he still was over there Avodah Zarah. But libo meshotev, amavin, ad shehisig derech emes. Oh, so that was Ad Khan, was until when he was 2.5, 3 years old, and then for 45 years. For 45 years, or 40 years, we'll see, there's different days, but until he was 48, let's say, so the Pshah said, that's the next Madrega. So for 45 years, you understand what that means, the avodah that took place there, in this fellow and through his whole life, and he very interesting. The Yada Sheish Sham Elokah Echad. He knew there was an Elokah Echad. He came that for 45 years. He came and this is Baruch Echama right now. He knew it was Elokah Echad. V'hu Manig HaGilgul, and he's the one that causes the movement, and everything goes on because of that. V'hu Bara HaKol, and he created everything. V'ein Bechol HaNimsa Elokah Chutz V'Menu. There's not I don't know Elokah with this, but there was nothing lchah except him, except the Rebbeinu Shalom. He knew that for Klor, this is what it is. So it took him 45 years, and it was finally Omei B'daita. Okay, so what happens then? Shekol Am Toim, and he knew now that everybody said before he was Mesupik. It bothered him, and he was for 40 years, decades. He's working with this problem. Yomam V'Layla. It's Pili Ploim. It's like not a simple type of,
he wrote a whole Masechta Saved Zarah with 400
brokim and stuff, yeah. But I don't know when he wrote it.
How many years you see this world, do you see Olam Hapachi?
What?
How many years you see this world, do you see Olam Hapachi, and you still live it?
Right? That's what I'm telling you. This is Enochanami. This is what we're going with. You see?
No, but we do it because we don't want to see them. He's looking for them instead.
That's the chiluk. But everybody can see it. But the tipshin, the Ram calls them tipshin. There's no what tipshin. They're intelligent people. What kind of tipshis is that? They grew up like that. What kind of tipshis is that? The father told him such a thing. Even Rabbi Ravino, his father told him. He went and then the Geshke a little bit, but
it took a very smart man like a Rabbi Ravino
to
45 years to have. So how you tell me?
No, but he already knew right away in the beginning. He knew right away in the beginning that
there has to be. He had Svekis right away,
and he knew that there has to be somebody that's doing it.
He knew, but he didn't bring him to say that.
You're saying that the guy is typish because it's in front of him.
I'm saying the guy's tip is right because they have no Svekis.
It's not in front of you if it takes 45 years.
You're not listening. It took him 45 years to know Baruch Echama And it was, and without any kind of literature, without any kind of this. Today, you can go anything, you can see anything. You
For
can.
40, let's go back a second. He's saying like this. For all the other people over there,
What do you mean? I speak. I know what he says.
all the other people, so I say, all the other people over there,
Yeah.
they saw it bother them just like Avraham Avinu.
No, it did not.
A typisch meint am betracht nicht.
No, it didn't bother
Typisch
them.
means you don't think.
It
They
didn't
just
bother
weren't
them.
thinking.
do
He was
anything about
thinking.
it.
No, it didn't bother them.
It's
Avraham Avinu bothered, and he didn't do anything about it originally because he wasn't 100% sure.
He didn't know what to do.
No,
So they figured out what to do.
No. That's your saying. You write your thing. We'll discuss it another time. But right now we're talking about the Rambam. The Rambam says no. He was not mesupik in anything other than the pshat. He understood that, but he wasn't 100% sure yet. Not that he didn't know what to do. He wasn't 100% sure yet. He understood.
He knew this was wrong. He didn't know what was 100% right. What to do?
He didn't know. He was not sure about this. It was mesupik. It was the asim shout that everybody says now everybody's doing like this. Now we're talking about days here, not action. In the beginning, he understood that he was mashal. It was
said also in the
mesupik.
beginning also he knew that there must be a law echad. That's By 2.5
No,
years.
Somebody,
it-
there has to be a
it-
solution. Has to be a
That's
secret.
but he didn't know for
There
sure.
has to be a man.
He thought philosophically that there should be.
But the
But-
Russian you read before
but
said
he didn't
also
know-
that
he
he knew
didn't
there had to
know-
be one.
What?
He didn't say earlier that he knew there has to be
There has to be
one.
somebody that's being
No,
misaved.
that was that's massage of higher to me. Hey, after yes, this was a question. The me is save also. The vishi after she save sat saspa. V'lo haya lo lam madia davar ala was mushka beorkastim. Then of the Zara. The tipshin, the Avi Vima, the Kala Amma of them of the Zara, the who Hayi Avi Dimahem. The Libra Meshotate, and Mavin, Ache Hissig. So that was, it took him years and years and years. Hissig means he knew the Klor of this. Up until now, it was not Klor. He understood philosophically it has to be, but okay, it's
theory.
like,
Theory.
and theory, and and this, he didn't break anything yet.
What changed?
Because after 45 years, after 40 years, he understood. He finally was machlit that 100% there was no shaila in the world that there's a lokal echad.
But something happened that it, or
It was a slow process. It was a
The
process.
whole process of thought and through him, I don't know what his one end
Right,
is.
I have a shayla. It doesn't say the Chazal Mavatul, the taiva, the Zachora of Avodah Zarah.
Yeah, but that's
So I understand, but doesn't that mean that it's a taiva? It's a taiva.
yeah.
So how does that do with this? I've remembered the taiva. He was looking for them.
Right, but it's like
It sounds like this is not
Ravashi.
negated today. This is not negated today. After Avraham Avinu had it,
I got you. You're right. No, but it's two separate things. Because when I have a taiva to do something, the pshat is that I can know it's wrong.
right. But it sounds like once he did that, there's no Avodah. Once he
he
took away
did
the
what?
taiva, once he took away the taiva, then it's possible.
There was,
It's always like that when you know afterwards.
no, that's I'm telling you, taiva is and das are two separate things.
Right.
You can know for sure that this is absolute shtus, but the pshat is
He was born into a world
Once
where
you have a
everybody
clock,
did
But they didn't know
You don't
yet.
have
But they didn't know
to
yet.
Chazal, they knew and they still had a time.
Right. So in other words, this whole suffix that Avraham Avinu had is not negated.
Because he's born into a world.
By us, I don't mean Bisman Zayah. Even time of Chazal, it was only a taiva. There was no suffix in. Avraham Avinu was 40 years after
He's born into
Avraham Avinu
world,
got
yeah.
there. There's no. It's not a game anymore. We all have that pasha by us, and the only Avodah Zarah shaykh is taiva.
We have it says Mitzrayim and Ma'amer Sinai to based on also.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm asking if all these fakes is
Yeah.
also every yid or every person has that, could have that suffix today, or once was a vegetal by Avraham Avinu, and then so today it's only time.
His fake
Which Chazal was up.
His suffix was he's starting off from the premise that there is the Geshkes
He was
and
born into a world, but it's only a Mitzrayim. That's what he was born.
his fake his suffix
Avraham Avinu was a Tinnik Shenishba,
originally.
and all the Tinnik Shenishbas are Tipshim. If they don't come out of it,
If they don't come out of it,
on their own, they should be able to be massive.
The whole
Even not with a clerk. Like, even this with a clerk.
At least to have the stuff.
To have the suffix.
At least to have the suffix.
If
you don't have the suffix, then
there's a good probability.
That could be today, even after.
No. But
Like
the
the
Gemara says that
Kuzmi
all about the
says-
Zohar is just
Kuzmi
to
says
get
it's
the
50-50. You know, there is a God, there is no God. You know, but you have to have, it should be there. And I'm telling you, that was in a vacuum where everybody, there was no information. That was absolutely in a vacuum where there was no information to have, no books, no nothing, no library, no garnish. You can't look it up. You can't. Nothing to do. It's just all the information was coming the wrong way, the other way. And he took him decades, and he finally was machlit. And he thought of this when he was 2 years old. He was 2.5 years old. It was a yom of a laila bothered him. It wasn't just like a philosophical type of thought that comes in. That doesn't hound you. That doesn't bother you. Yom of a laila. This was the man was obsessed with this idea that there's something wrong, something's bothering. And Afal Pekin, he was still did what, and the outside what he did. He was still went to the Beis Tiflis with his parents and stuff like that. But this was something. But until Hisig, until he was masig in his mind the teretz. He was a shoutate and he was wondering and how could it be and this and you know what it's like. It's like when they say that what's it is ein anshin min adin. They have ein anshin min adin. So one as far as ein anshin min adin is because and adin here most of the fashion learn means kavul chomer. It means not just all the din, but just the kavul chomer. Why? Because even though you have a gavaldik kavul chomer, but maybe somebody smart will come by and knock out your kavul chomer, come with a pircha, so you're going to go kill the guy, and then another guy's going to wait. I have a pircha. It wasn't such a great kavul chomer in the first place. It says go tell Yarim, but he's hung up over there. So the pshat is so erechanami. So the pshat is ein onshin min adin. So it's like this. The pshat is that Avraham Avinu, like he was coming to some kind of realization, but you never know. Like everybody's saying that. Like all the guys with the beards, all the rabbanim over there, they're telling you one way and stuff like that. They're all telling him one way, and everybody's saying that
they were screaming in Chodesh Hashem Natay.
Yeah. But I don't even know he told anybody. It doesn't say he spoke to anybody about this. There was nobody to speak to. There was nothing to look at, nothing to this, and then nothing to read, and there's this. Until Shehisik, until he came to a certain conclusion after 40 years. He came to the conclusion that this is our Avraham Avinu came and said that there's no shaila, there's nothing talking. It's Baruch and Chama, nothing to talk about. So I'm going to tell you that's the 48. It was the 3 he began, and 48 he was 100% no shaila about it. But Yoda Shei Sham Elokah Echad Behu Mani Hagilko Behu Baruch Bakol Ve'ein Bekol Nimsa Elokah Chutz Mimenu. But Yeda Shekol Ha'am Toim. So up until now, before he suspected that everybody was making a mistake. It didn't make sense intellectually. It did not make any sense, and intellectually he thought that they were making a mistake, but he wasn't 100% borrowed to that. There wasn't. I mean, it's hard to Now he's 100% no. The Yoda Shekola Am Toy. The Davar Shegarim Lehemat Lotas. That's what happens. You get into this and you serve the geshkis and you do this and you start doing it and you forget all kinds of, that's it, that the all the nonsense takes effect and there's nothing to talk about. Ben Arbaim Shon, it's been there's a guess Ben Arbaim the Shvona Shonim. Hikar Avram Esbera. So you see that before what he did was not called a Hikar Esbera. He had very gewaldige sfekas that bothered him for 40 years. Mamish unbelievable. It's pili playim. It's mamish nervoyim, such a thing. Kivin shehikar v'yada hiskal leheshiv tshuvas al b'nei or kasdim. See, I say that's why I'm right. They didn't talk to anybody yet about his sfekas. And it was pretty clear, and it was clear to him that there has to be and stuff like that. But like it wasn't sure, 100% sure, and decades. So it happens that it goes through. Finally, and he's talking. Yom V'lai, he's thinking about it. Yom V'lai comes to the achlata that there's nothing to talk about. There's 100% emes.
Not every theory you have to be mefarsim. Until you're 100% sure,
Especially in a place where they're hostile to it, that everybody's misnagid to it. The ramifications would be astronomical, unbelievable. So, but he didn't talk to. But once he understood, and Yoda that there's a elokah echod in the Welt. So then he started writing chuvas. So it's very, very beautiful point. He's telling you guys are not going in the derech emes. Before I suspected, for decades I'm suspecting, and I came to achlata that you people are doing wrong. Absolute not emes. I told you the midas emes is unbelievable. It's half the fellow. I'm going to get to answer my question with this, but I need you to, okay. Oh, where was it? Chuvas here. The dini bar v'lamash enzu derech emes. Tzat derech emes she'atem holchim bo v'shiber hatzlomim. Now once you know the emes, so besides that, then you do what you have to do. It's interesting. It's you could think in this and you're pretty sure, not sure this, but you know the emes. Shiber is a slomim. He acted and Maisa over there. Shiber is a slomim. The hiska lahadia laam she'ein roy lavad. He said ela elokah olam. The only point, the only to roy, which to do avoda to, is the Rebbeinu Shalom. V'lo roy lishtachvis lahakriv l'nasek. All the avodas that these people they've been doing for years and years. Pshat said that's only, you should be directing it towards the Rebbeinu Shalom. Kadesh yakiru kol abruim aboim. Also very interesting, in order that you're going to do all these avodas to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and the pshat is that it's see the rabbi was very good, because the pshat that no Navim are coming and saying this is what you have to do to Rebbeinu Shalom. This how they start doing this in Nisuch and all this the Hakrovas and all that stuff. It's because a guy, a ligner, a fupper, came up, a chakran came up and said that this is what you do in order to go to but nobody did that for the Rebbeinu Shalom. Nobody said that that's what you have to do, even though that we know that out of Marisha was Makriv Kurbanos, no, it was Makriv Kurbanos. But nobody said that. So so this is Kadesh Yakiru Kol Habruim Haboim. All the bruim which are boim and the dairis which are soon coming to do a dairis. The pshat that you have to show. It's not enough in the heart. You have to show that you be makriv. You're be menaseh. You're doing to Rebbeinu Shalom. And very interesting. This the roy la'abed or the shaber kol etzuas. So Memela Pshat said that's why it's Roy La'abed or L'Shaber Kol Tzurus Kadesh Lo Yitu Behen Kol La'am. In order that they shouldn't have a mistake, they shouldn't have to make a mistake. We're going to get to this. Come on, Elu Shehem Adamin She'en Sham Elokah Elu Elu Elu. Like for these people, these historians that think this is the Eloah in the world. The Pshat said this is a sheker. And Mamela, it's right to break these things, to break them, and la'abed and l'shaber, kol etzuras, kadesh lo yitu behen. Very interesting thing, because this idea kadesh lo
Abed the Abdul is called koimes.
Not the bekomas the tzuras.
To break the Avodah.
To break the but not like that's I'm telling you. You have to be not like you think that we have a mitzvah in Eretz Yisrael. You go break and you go. Then we have a mitzvah to go. That's the Rambam is saying shelo yitub and kol ha'am. Now the pshat is that we this is a continuation that we know we learned from the Sheva mitzvahs where we did the Eber Menachai, we did the Kloyim. So one of the Sheva mitzvahs is Avodah Zarah. This is
I guess where this is must be in Siri. Okay. I don't know. That's the volume. Okay, I think it's okay. No. Sha'avad Azara here. Benach Sha'avad Azara. It's in Perik Tes Halacha Beis. Hari Zechayev. Okay. V'hu sheyavad b'kedarka v'kol avad azar shebeis din shel Yisrael memisin aleh ben Noach nehoreg aleh v'kol she'ein beis din shel Yisrael memisin aleh ein ben Noach is nehoreg aleh. Even though we know said it as haros and zui misosim, but that's the rule. The avol b'she'eino nehoreg asa b'kol the ein menichin asa lahakim atzeva. So everything's going to be awesome for these guys. Below lita ashera, they can't plant it ashera. Below lasas surus of kiyotzi ben lanoi. Oh, Dr. Avim lanoi. What happens to the surah for Avodah Zarah? Why do you throw in lanoi over there for? So the pshat so that's poshut. That's something that when you make a gashka, you make the Avodah Zarah. That's the Avodah Zarah. Is that when you make that for the Avodah Zarah, the Geshkis, the Rav about it, that's something which is also, there's nothing to talk about. But Rambam adds in, you can't even make L'suris L'noi. That you can't do.
Meaning you're not doing it for Avodah Zarah, you're making it.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Like the merchats, the merchats shop, and the Gamliel, the merchats.
The Gemara is on Rabbi Gamliel, how they would make it.
They're not making the merchats a knife for Avodah Zarah, make the Avodah Zarah a knife for the merchats. But
he had surahs also.
It wasn't surah.
The Gemara says he had surahs and stuff.
What about the Levana?
The Mishnah in Avodah Zarah.
But Kachri and this and that, there's a Gemara is on him. How was he allowed to do that? So so we're going to get to that really, but the Gemara says L'salmed, the Slamed is different, or there are a few to root him. Why
that's Basundra Isser that of Lysas and Mus Shamoshai, which that's also for
1 second.
Goy, it's also the same.
What?
For a Goy, it wouldn't be also this thing.
Do sucks to say, but we'll say that the Rambam says not like you.
No, maybe I'm saying maybe the Rambam is saying that they would
because this is exactly what we're going to talk about. But the Losasun
for no.
The Losasun that they
over
there
is
for the Noi. That's right, not that's not a Avodah Zarah.
The Lisasan Mus Misham Shivamorim. That's Isser for Yisrael.
It's an Isser for Yisrael, but it's an Isser for Yisrael when you're not doing it for Avodah Zarah purposes. It's still awesome.
Right.
All right. So the Rambam says that applies to I just read it. Where was the Rambam? You didn't hear the Rambam?
I heard the Rambam. That's what I was trying to say. Maybe not.
Maybe not. But
again.
What?
Any tourist Moshe. I mean, last week he gave them a ganz chashumish, but
below lasa surus, yeah, below lasa surus geyotze ben lanoi.
Kayotze man to make the tourist of the Zara to make a tourist of the nice even lanoi would be a problem.
Even lanoi would be a problem.
But it's a tourist of the nice that they make with lanoi.
It's a tourist of the shemosh of
no, that's what it says. Tourist Moshe. He says it's a make a tourist a shemesh very rare.
Rabbi. This is the okay. That was Aleph.
The Gemara says answer that Rabbi Gamliel Acherim Abdullah.
Acherim could be a bit different.
Acherim Abdullah means he had Goy making the tzura, so it wasn't Issa Mitzad the making it.
It's a shaila making or this, not making, but.
No, so if you say this is Israel Assassin the Moshe Moshe, then we wouldn't have Acherim Abdullah.
Yeah, 1 second. What is this? I don't know. This is gonna. That's in Per Gimel here. Okay, I'll have to find the issue. Gimel Yud. It's also lasa suras lenoi v'afal pi she'eino avodah zarah.
Right.
Pi she'eino avodah zarah.
That's by Yid.
Yeah. Shneimar lo sasun iti Elohei chesed ve'Elohei zov. Klamar tzuras shel kesef shel zov she'hen lenoi. Kedei shelo yitu behen hatoim v'yidmu she'hen la'avodah.
Right.
So this thank the Lashon Rambam in Perek Aleph. He says Avraham Avinu roy la'abed v'shaber kol tzores kadei shelo yitu behen kol ha'am. This is very good. This is kadei shelo yitem kol ha'am kamo elu shehem adamin she'en sham Eloha elo elu. So this is the Rambam says this is even for noi you can't do that because shelo yitu. And that just gave the Ryan in the pasuk lo sasun iti Elohei chesed Elohei zov. And Mamela the B'shas said that's the Klor. The Rambam holds that this is applicable to this is what Avraham Avinu did. He did this. This is what he did. Ve'ein asa l'tzur l'noi el l'tzuras ha'adam bavad. There's a steer later on to the Rambam. He says that all the Shemoshim and how it's only Adam, whatever. So, but that's not the point right now. To razzle dazzle with the sugya like that. That's like that. That's not the. But the Rambam holds for Klor that losasun iti is a noidik din and nothing. Even though it's not about Azor, it says mafurish and that's what Avraham Avinu did. Rui la'abed or l'shaber kol atzuris kadesh lo yitu behen kol ha'am. So that's also kadesh lo yitu behen kol ha'am. Very good. This. So the Rambam. The Charis parshas is learning that this is the gear to Ben Noach also like that. This good, fine. So we're going to get back to it because there's an interesting Gemara. Even Shegavra Alei Barayas Bikei Shamelech Lahargo. So just almost finished this Rambam here. I'm still getting back to the original problem of what happened to the only going from year to year. The first this, then we'll get back to that one. B'ez Hashem. So once he was very convincing of Ravino. He was 40 years you work on something, like that's pretty good. He had it down pat. He could explain to you and make everybody see what was correct. So the Melech wanted to kill him. Nasa lo neis, v'yotze lecharim. So it was Nasa lo neis. So what do we know? We know the Chazals that they threw him into the Kivshin Eish, and he got out of the Kivshin Eish, and this was a Gavaldik Neis, and Harun said, if I'm going to, they asked him, who are you going to be with? And if Avraham Avinu walks out, so I'll be with him. If I this, I'll be with him. So very, very, very good. This is something we grew up with the Gemara and Psachim Kuf Yud Ches. I mean, this is a fact. If I ask you whether it was Avraham Avinu thrown into a Kivshin Eish, and you'll look at me like, the guy doesn't know anything. This is a fact. There's nothing to talk about. The Ramban is like, the Ramban is the Ramban. What can I tell you? The Ramban here, this is... Where's the Ramban? Okay. Where is the Ramban? It's good. This is the bonus here someplace. Okay, I can't read my writing either. So, where's the Ramban? Do you know what the Ramban is? Ramban is.
Yeah, you don't know.
What?
Which Ramban are we looking for?
Beginning of lech lechah.
Beginning of lech lechah. It should be. That's what I thought, but.
replaced.
But the kids, I'll tell you, the Ramban says. 1 second. Oh, maybe it was at the end of Noach. Maybe it could be at the end of Noach.
Rashi's at the end of Noach.
So the Rashi is at the end of Noach. So maybe it was at the end of Noach. He goes through a whole idea. The Ramban brings down the whole idea. 1 second. Yeah, that's the end of Noach. Yeah, we'll do it all of. I was right there. Over here. Dr. Ramban. The Ramban is Yod Aleph Chav Ches Al Pnei Terech Avi Be'eretz Haladaton. So the Ramban goes a whole stiggle that Avraham Avinu was not born in Ur Kasdim. He was born in Kuta, a different place, in Babel. He was not born in that. He says, but that's not the point I want to get to right now. It says, "Ki Avram asher nolda bekuta cholak al das hahamun shehaya ovdin hashemesh v'nasan hamelech osa bebeis hasoher v'haya imoim b'tolchachas yomim rabim sham." He was there in jail for yomim rabim. Acher kach pochad hamelech sheyashkis alav arzo v'yasir. He was afraid. He was a bad influence, and even in jail, he was a bad influence. B'nei Adam me'amunasam. He was afraid of, like the Rambam said after he. This is stems with the Rambam. Once the Melech even Shagavar Alei and Barayas Bikesh HaMelech Lahargo. This is according to the Rambam. This is after even when he was in jail, he threw him in jail, and still he was afraid. V'yaseh b'nei Adam me'amunasam igarash oso el katzei ha'aretz Canaan acher shaloch hakol hono. Didn't do it for free. They charged him for it. Al kol poni b'makom ahu be'eretz kasdim nasa neis la'Avraham Avinu o neis nister. Hey Ramban, o neis nister. There was a neis that happened to this Avraham Avinu. It was o neis nister. Shenosam b'leiv osa melech lahatzilu. This the melech just let him out of jail. This let him out of jail here. V'shelo yamisu, and the neis was by right he should have killed him. Well, there was no problem killing the guy. That's the best way to shut him up. So you take him, but no, he didn't. And he released him. That was a neis nister. That was portion of the neis nister. Oh, neis meforsim, or it could be it was a neis meforsim. Sheshlichu lekivshon ha'esh v'nitzel kedivrei Rabbeinu. And if I told you that, I mean, you throw eggs and stuff like that. That's unbelievable. What do you have a suffix? I mean, what's binich? We know. We grew up with it. We know what's the suffix.
Yeah,
That's what I'm telling you. We're not because you wrote
the comic book. Kasdim is a pasuk.
What?
Ani Hashem Elokecha v'asher tzrichu Kasdim is a pasuk. That much. The pasuk doesn't say anything about a kibshanesh. So the Ramban is saying one thing we know for sure is the pasuk says that. And there's a Medrash Chazal which says that there was another thing.
So I mean, to me that's what it is. That's what happened. I don't have this or that. If I told you this or that, you can throw me out. Believe me, this you can right away. This the Ramban says it's a Ramban. It's a Ramban. I mean,
Ramban says in the Vikuach that you're not mechuyev to believe in that goddess.
Yeah, this is a niflitic kazan.
Well, did he let him out after he threw him in the
No, one or the other. One or the other.
No kibshan eish. There was just this.
The fact the nest was that he gave him an opportunity to throw him in the kibshan eish, and if he gets out of the kibshan eish, he can go free.
That was a nice nigla. That was a nice nigla. That's called nice nigla. That was all nigla.
That he got saved for the Kivshana Eish of the nice nigla. That he made the deal with him. That's the
So what's the eye?
Either or.
No, the Radak. This is the pshat.
You're all it's really funny. I just wanted to tell you that because that's something that you can't. If a person would say, "I'll be curious," stop in the curious. What kind of thing is that? The Ban says that it's humble haflid. It's hello davarhu, but it's something that's cannot be imitated. Nothing imitated. The Ramban is the Ramban. Anyway, I'll call upon him. So we said this Avraham Avinu v'Hisko la'amod v'likris b'kol gadol l'chol la'am v'la'odim she'esh lechah echad l'kol la'olam v'lo roi la'avod. Like we said before, that's where he came to this hachlata. Memeli started being Meshabed at Sloim, and he did it in Kadesh Yitu, and the Rambam holds that this is very nice. V'hoyim mahalach v'kari v'kabei tza'am me'ir le'ir me'mamlacha to the mamlacha ad she'yagia le'eretz Canaan v'hu kare. Till he got to Eretz Canaan. This is lech lchah. So this lech lchah happens 45 years. There was two Yetzias over there. It says in Svarim I found it, and the Medrash Rabbah says like that also two Yetzias. But Al Kopani, there was a Yetzir. He came back for 5 years, then he went out again because the Bris Ben Besarim, when he fought the Malachim, that was when he was like 70, 72, or something like 70. He was 70, so I 75. It says he left, and lech lechot. It says that was second Yitzhak. I'll call Pani, but it was for sure. It was at least when he was 70. Was this? So from 45, from 48, we said when he had the absolute certainty that this, and he went and was meshaber and he talked and this, and he was thrown into jail when the Melech wants to take care of him. The Pshaz Kivin Shagover Aleim Rayas Bikesh Melech Lahargo. The Melech wanted to hargo. So when he put him into jail, even according to Ramban, he put him into jail. He was on death sentence. He was in death row. So Mamela Pshaz ben Enochanami. Now the Pshaz and he threw him to Kivshan Eish. He got out. And the Pshas, and now he's on his way to Eretz Canaan, lech lechah. Very pilly ployim. So what? So now this is just emphasizing and putting and being mavlit this kasha. So why are you now all of a sudden? And now you're telling me this is the medrash that the malva davadoma that the guy that's walking from ear to ear. And he comes to this realization. Well, no, he came to realization before that. He came to realization way before that. Why are you? How come you're Chinik here? What kind of medrash is that? What are you telling me? He went to the Ma'al Davidomo and he's on his way there. So and he comes and he sees Ani Balabira and the Rebbe comes to him and says, "No, I'm sorry. That's what kind of thing is that?" When he was 45, he understood. 48, he understood Klur. This is the Rebbe. He started breaking the slumim and this Shelo Yitu and stuff like that. So what is the Medrash talking about? This is the original kasha. This is just I had to get to it because this is the build up. This is just emphasizes the kasha. It's a pillar. It's a pella. It's mamash a pella. What did he realize anymore on his way to Eretz Canaan? So I want to tell you a rule. The Bishar said that even though we saw the lashon, I'm trying to emphasize that there's two types of amuna in the world. There's an amuna that a person believes that there's a Rebbeinu Hashem created everything, and there's a amuna that he believes that the Rebbeinu Hashem is the manig for something. But in the manig in the hanhoga and the kasha was that this realization could have happened in the middle of the year. He could have burned down the house in the middle there because it's all a year, a nice hashena hose, and then child had a hose. Oh, wow, somebody made the hose, didn't make it itself, and it's burning down. So even hefsed and child in the middle of the year. So it happens all the time, fires. So what was now more on the way to Eretz Canaan? So the teretz is like this: that shows that amuna that the Rebbeinu Shalom exists, that Hakadosh Baruch Hu is buried the olam. She after she is sarvei v'satzma But there, that's what it before that. Hey, there's a different. There's a creator and there's a manik. Now, when I throw a ball, I'm the one that's throwing the ball. It's my energy going into the ball. Forget and stuff like that. But I'm throwing the ball. I'm the one. But every second, am I the one that's in control of the ball and going? No, that's. So I want to say that the rule is like this. Avraham Avinu came to the Hakara decades and decades. He found 100% bora that there's a Rebbeinu Shem is the Elokah Echad, the bury the Olam. Not only is it bury the Olam, it is manig the Olam. But manig and Olam can have two different understandings. You can be manig and Olam, which means that you're the force that started the hanhogas of sivuv of all the kachovim and the zun and this and everything, but that hashkocha proteus for every rega of chayim is rotzen ritzoni is barak that the atoms in the table should stay together and that this should be a table and only the kol because there's a tmedius a rotzen of the Rebbeinu Shalom that the atoms should stay together like this. That we make a bracha, Rakala Aretz Alamayim, that we walk on this, a Mecher Mitzadei Gober, is a pshas that this is a niflatik amuna, in that every rega of our chayim, every rega of the chayim is the Rebbeinu Shem is Ritzana Yisbarach. There's only Ritzana Yisbarach. A person walks around like that. So you say, you can't do that in the ear. Why? Because in the ear is something that pshas that there you have the same repetitious life. You have the same hergel. When you have a hergel, it's hard to understand that every rega is something new. Is a frische Zach. You can understand that there's a momentum which comes originally from the Rebbeinu Shalom. You can remember that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the beret. But to understand that he's the manik, every single rega is Ratzano, is Yisbarach, is the B'shaz, that's what's keeping us in form and shape and this and that. Yeah, every rega. The pshas, every single rega, you can't do that when you're in the middle of an ear. When you're in the middle of an ear, so the pshas said that's something which is a hergel. There's a hergel. Life goes on. You get up at the same time. You go and you go to shul. You come back. You go. You learn. You come. This when you do that, so you're not. It's impossible to think every rega that there's something frisher because it happens all the time. Because you have the same routine. Continuous routine. When you have a continuous routine, so that's misnaged. To the machshava, the pshas that there's every rega, there's a burial which is being manig the world. The body's a manig. That Avraham Avinu had no shayla. There's no. It was Shabbat at Slomim, no problem. But the pshas, but that idea, every rega, he's maimed b'ritzona yisbarach. That's something nifla ad ma'od, and that's something you can only have when you're on the derech. When you're going, when it's not, when no hergel. No hergel, it's everything new, fresh. It's nothing. It's nothing which is because I did last time. I do the same thing. You're on the derech. There's no kvias. When there's no kvias, then you can come to the conclusion that every single rega is that's why
that hasaga you don't see in a beer. The beer is the one-time thing that it was made.
A beer is made, but he said, but he saw it in the hefsid when there was a shreifa.
It's a new thing. New thing happened. Where do you see the continuous?
Because that's what the Rebbeinu Shalom said. I need Baal Bira. He knew who the Rebbeinu Shalom was, the Baal Bira. He knew it from before. He was Mesupik at 3. He understood Klor Bari Kachama that this is given. He was the Baal Bira at 48. But he knew that the Rebbeinu Shalom was manig the meanings the koch. They were kochas. What?
That's why he was able to see when he went from ear to ear.
But that was to see that I need balabira that the atoms and everything are one only because it's my continuous rutzen for that's what he sees between between the ear without the hergel. Without hergel you can see that fine. That was I think it's a.
I thought you say with the hitzis all about abira the Chavsalmovsky is the marshal. Somebody who doesn't say it for this question, but he said the marshal with the boy and born in the dungeon, and the the Eved Melech was with Savit to give him and to provide for him everything. So Bemele, his whole Hakara was inside the dungeon. So he's Shabeach, the Eved Melech. So this Melech is Mamish Gewaldig. He provides for the ganze dungeon. He's Mamish the king of the dungeon. He's Mamish Gewaldig.
Right.
He said you bring the vase of the Melech because the Melech is so much more than what your Hasaga is.
Just the dungeon, right?
He's not much more than the dungeon. So he's saying the Hitzel of Balabir is saying you tackle massive the whole Hasaga you get to Bershom in the beer, but it's you
gotta go out of the beer.
You have to go out of the beer. You can see much more. It's the Hasaga.
So that's why you have to leave the area.
You're saying this. I'm
big
saying that this Hitzel of Balabir is
Yeah.
much more than this.
Huh? No, that's one more. I just want to like so. The Gemara says, "What time? It's overtime."
No, it's good. We're all good.
It's good night to him and a little bit, whatever. The Gemara says here like this. We're talking about Manatsuri. So if you buy goods and you want to pay, you have to pay back money for the goods. So the price of the lech is that you have to pay back in good to geld. The geld that has a tzura to it. That's it's over lchah. You could use this. So the Gemara is mafapol. Then the Gemara has a price over here. Tana Bana Eizu Matbeya Shal Yerushalayim David Shlomo Mitzad Echod VeYerushalayim Ira Kodesh Mitzad Acher. So I'll say what does it mean Ira Kodesh? Do anybody of you know what the Ira Kodesh does not mean the holy city, because Ira could be is Nekeva, and then otherwise and it should be Ira Kadosha, the holy city. So Ir HaKadosh means Ir of the base of Mikdash. Whatever. Okay, just a sidebar. Fine. Mitzad Echad. So, but that's called a matbeya from Yerushalayim. Ve'ez a matbeya shel Avram Avinu. There's called a matbeya of Avram Avinu. V'zakin v'zakena mitzad Echad. U'bocher b'sula mitzad Acher. So, okay, fine. Two different types of coins. There's David and Shlomo with Ir HaKadosh with Yerushalayim on the other side. And there's the Zakin V'Zakena, which is Avram and Sarah, and then the Rashi is going to tell us that Bachar Basula is talking about Yitzchak and Rivka. Fine, no problem. Zakt Rashi, what does it mean here? David Shlomo, Kosov Mitzad Echad. Now we're getting back to the original sugi we were holding by before. Mitzad Sheni, Kosov Yerushalayim, Ira Kodesh. Why does Rashi change it? What happens if they can't make a shape of the Avram with the Sarah with the Kosov? What is it? Says Avram, it says Sarah. They can't make a shape of them. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah.
A Freud.
Huh?
A Freud.
That's not the issue.
You give me the coins and you'll go and you'll be good. It's unbelievable. Bachar Basula. What's a Bachar Basula? So he says Yitzchak and Rivka. Doesn't say Kosov. Zakin v'Zakena, Avram v'Sarah. So okay, no problem. So it's a head of mice. By a coin of Yerushalayim is the pshat is it's David and Shlomo. It's Kosov David and Shlomo, and it's Kosov Ir HaKadosh. And on a coin from Avram Avinu, that's called that. He didn't say Ir Kosov, no Kosov business. He says it's Zakim v'Zakena, and Rashi says that's Avram and Sarah, and Bachar and Basula or Bahula, whatever. And Basula, it's that's
Yitzchak.
Yeah, Rivka and Yitzchak. Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about Kosov. Zak the Tosas. Matbeya shel Avram Avinu Zakim v'Zakena mitzad echad. Bebreshis Rabba Darish v'Gadol Shvecha sheyatzi lo monita ba'olam, monita a coin. So they have these coins. There are a few people that had these coins. That in the whole world they had these coins. Their faces on whatever on the coins. Zok Tosas. Umahu b'nitin. What is it? This coin? What's on there? Zokein v'Zakena mikan. Bachar b'chura mikan. B'nirish lo hayabot surah Zokein v'Zakena. There wasn't Avram and Sarah was not on the tzura on the coin. Why not? Mikan and Mikan and Bachar Bechura Mikan. That wasn't what was on the coin. The Asa Lasa Suras Adam. It's also Lasa Surah Sodom. Oh, I remember a Rambam like that you can't even for Noi. This is not a Avodah Zarah. We're not making Avodah Zarahs over here. But even for even for Noi, you can't make a Surah Sodom. Very good, beautiful. So the Pshas over here, Ela kach hoya kosa mitzad echad zakim v'zakena. That's what it said in the Kohen. Mitzad echad acher is bacher basula. V'kein pirish b'kuntris gavi David and Shlomo. But the Rashi only says it l'gavi David and Shlomo. He doesn't say it was a kosa by zakim v'zakena. He doesn't say that. V'yushalayim erakada shekach hoya kosa b'matbeya. So. And there's supposedly a Chuvas Rogatchover. I can't find it. I tried. I don't have it. I tried looking it up. But the Rogatchover says that this is a machlokas Rashi and Tosas. The Pshas whether a Ben Noach is also for this losasun iti. So meaning that this coin, when we talk about a coin, a matbeya shel Avram Avinu, means that from the times of Avram Avinu. So we're talking about Ben Noach over here. I don't forget the Mishnah Melech over the parshas Rochim, but right now we're talking about Ben Noach. So Ben Noach, it's a Pshas says a machlokas Rashi Tosas Dr. Rogatchover on whether a Ben Noach is mechuyev for los hasuniti.
David Shlomo is pasha takes this.
So what I have problems. So very nifli digga thing is Mama beautiful. It's a very nifli digga thing. I just. Obviously, I'm not.
Avinu was the one breaking those tzuras, and they made a tzura of him.
Or he made a tzura.
He made a tzura. So the Rambam said he made tzuras.
Broke real
tzuras.
The way he's learning up that he was breaking even the tzuras lanoi.
No. He didn't say that. No. Roy la'abed o shaber kol tzuras kadesh lo yitu ve'en kol ha'am kamo elu. That
was real.
These were the real ones. These were the ones that were dinning.
Oh, okay.
So but it's nifli tikazach. But the Ramdas says later, right? And Perek Gimel was
there was Yid. He was talking about Yid. He was talking about Yid.
It's all about a Yid.
Yeah.
But in Hilchos Malachim he was talking about a goy. That Ben Noach is also part of the Avodah Zarah. So the Pshas, so this is a machlok. So it's going to come out that Tosas and Rambam are going to hold alike. That there's an issue for the tzuras by Ben Noach, even Lenoi. So you have in this coin, you have a problem. So what's the Pshat in the Gemara? It's Kosev. It has to be a Kosev. Rashi, who only says Kosev by David and Shlomo, which is by Yidden, which is Losas and Iti, which is we all agree is by Yidden. So the Pshat, so that's why he says Kosev, but by a coin, the matveya shel Avram Avinu says nifla. By a coin shel Avram Avinu, he says that he doesn't say kosev. One ha'ara, just the Rogatchover is the Rogatchover, doesn't mean the Rogatchover. The Pshat, why by Yerushalayim? It says kosev by David Melech and kosev Yerushalayim on the other side. It shouldn't say kosev Yerushalayim. That's not a person.
Even in Tosas, Alain says a kasha. And I'm saying Tosas didn't have to say. He said Pirish b'kuntris, David Shlomo, and he also says,
and Tosas bring a raya from Rashi, who Rashi is not like him in terms of this. Is the second tzveita the Pshad says it's a madazach. The Pshad said bring a raya from Rashi is about Palukta of him in this sheet. Very interesting. But Al Kopanim is nifli de gazach. That this idea is assassinati by David Noi is taka machlok the
Rambam said first tzura, or the Rambam says avodah zarah lanoi.
No. Tzura? Yeah, tzura. Yeah, sure. That's here. And now she'aved avodah zarah hayzeh chayev v'hu she'aved gedarka v'kol avodah zarah she'beis din v'kol she'ein beis din she'yeh v'afu she'eino nerag asa b'kol v'ein menichan asa lo hoki matzeva lo lita asher v'lo lasa suras v'kiyotzi ben lanoi.
That's tzura.
Suras lanoi. So
wasn't make kids available. But tzuras kids available. What does that mean?
This type of beautiful. Whether you have a rikman, whether you put in a fabric.
Doesn't mean
it's tzura of avodah zarah. Not a tzura of a person.
Tzura shayv the nice side.
No. This is mesham shimshim b'morim, even Illinois, which is not about it. But
he says tzuras of mesham shimshim b'morim. He says tzuras of
kayotzim.
He's talking about
Okay,
Surah
so it means
Shoiber.
That's what he says in Hilchos Avodah Zarah. Yeah.
To make
That's
Antiti.
that's what he said. No, that's what he's pushing in Paragimel of Avodah Zarah. That's what he says.
This is what? Where?
Yeah, but he's not talking about a good.
I read it to you already, but I have to read it again.
No, but he's talking about a Yid.
No, he's talking about
talking about
Yid.
Yid,
Yid
but
has an issue of making Tzura.
Even though it's not Avodah Zarah, it's only
Right,
for
yeah,
Noi.
for sure,
Right.
yeah.
So you see, Noi.
That's what he means. If he's
That's
making Tzuras Kids, but Elu, he's making a Tzura Shoiber.
They were all Oivdim. They were Oivdim to all these things.
No,
Make
make a
an
picture of a
Antiti.
Asa lasa suris l'noi v'afal b'she'ena Avodah Zarah. Shall nemar l'sasin iti el hei
Yeah,
kesef.
but that pasuk's parshas talking about Yisrael after.
Yeah, of course. Not Dafke. So what's according to the Rambam and according to the Rambam and the Tosfos, it's going to come out that this is like a bizrayu from Avodah Zarah. He's giving out like a nasinus tam. This is a bizrayu of Avodah Zarah. Memela shaita aser lebenach. If this would be a singular iser of just don't do because up to it, the Rosh doesn't like any kind of even annoyed. Mishamshim Shabbabarim, so the Pshas then has nothing to do with a goy. You can't tell me a goy is going to be also in that. And that's what Rashi is going to hold. Rashi is going to hold what it was. It's a separate issue. Like it's nothing to do with anything. This is an issue by Yid, and there's nothing to do with goy, and the goy is also in Avodah Zarah, and goodbye. Fatik. So Mela Rashi is very, very good, and the Rambam does is very good. The horrors are horrors, but it's very, very special that this is Mamish Gevaldik. This is what the Rashi and the Tosfos is going to hold again, that this is going to be a bizrayu of Avodah Zarah, and the Memel, the Mekendis Aser and Avagoy, also we talk about Isser of Avodah Zarah, even though it's only Illinois, because you see the Torah Aser for Yid, even if it's only Illinois, it's going to be Aser, and the Rambam's giving you time in the crow that this is because of Avodah Zarah. And like you wanted to say, and so that's very good. But Rashi's going to ding with you. He's going to say nothing to do. It has nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with that. Separate issue. Separate to do with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.